Awesome stuff. Okay. While I wait for everyone to join in, let me quickly get myself. Hi Winnie, welcome. Good to see you here. Yay! My captain, Capo. How are you? Good to see you, President Jide Ogunleye, the 21st President of Rotary Club Omole Golden. What an honor. And our guest is here. Good evening, sir. Great to have you here. Tosin, Salman Diva, good to see you here. Hi, Bolu. Nice to see you. Happy Sunday, everyone. How are we doing? How was your... How should I say? Well, Sunday is not over. So how's your day been? How was last week? My own last week was very long. It was very, very long. Very, very stressful. I think I've not had enough sleep. Hi, Mocha Ogudu. Wow. I have a whole Mocha Ogudu on my live. Amazing stuff. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm just trying to pin the topic in two ways so that you can see it up there, you can see it down here. Let me know that you can hear me. Okay, I'm sure you guys can hear me, right? Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? I'm excited. If you know me, oh, it's Jide. Hi. Okay, great. My leader, I celebrate you. Thank you all for joining. I hope you guys are good. Hope you're having a great July. I'm excited. You know, I'm always happy. Hi, Favor. Welcome. I'm always very excited about our live shows because they're always very impactful sessions that, I mean, we're not just doing a routine thing here. We're looking at how we can transform lives, how we can help people to make better informed decisions, how we can change mindsets, how we can correct wrong notions. I mean, Effect Talk is always a very beautiful space, and you know, God has really blessed us with very amazing speakers, past, present. So it's always a good time. Welcome, Mile, and call me Mommy Laura. Thank you for joining in. Good to see you. So welcome to another beautiful, amazing episode of Effect Talks. Today we're going to be discussing a very, very, very important topic, and that is fatherhood. I'm sure that you can see it on the, I mean, I've pinned the topic both up and down, and we're talking about the impact of an absent father. Before we go too far, I just want us to take our opening prayer, then I will talk a bit, nothing really, just to, and then I will say the profile of our very amazing guest, and I'll ask him to join us, and then we go right into the program. You guys have sent me one thing I'm grateful for is that every time I put out a topic, right, you always send me some questions to add to whatever I'm thinking. So thank you for always sending me questions. I was even looking at questions against that. I was like, my God, amazing stuff, right? So Lord Jesus, we're so grateful for another amazing episode of Effect Talks. Thank you for how far you have been helping us. It's been you every time, every month, every episode. Thank you for the impact that this platform is having, not just locally but to the nations of the world. Thank you for this assignment. Thank you for everyone who always tunes in. Thank you, because we know that the different great insights are dropping in their hearts, in their spirit, helping all of us to be better individuals. Thank you for today's very important topic. Thank you for our guest. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you because you're going to give him words that cannot be contended. We thank you because you're going to speak through him in the name of Jesus. Thank you because everything is going to go well today, and at the end of today's episode we'll have every reason to glorify your name. Thank you for even those who will still watch it later, those who might not be able to join. We give you praise and glory, Lord. Be thou exalted. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. Amen and amen. So welcome again, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about something very interesting. The thing is that some people maybe as a result of maybe death, you know, they didn't have the privilege to have a father. Osinachi, it's good to see you. Thrift and Slay. Oh, Thrift and Slay. Nice. Good to see you. So they didn't have a father. Maybe the father passed when they were really young, so they never had the opportunity to grow with a father. While some people actually had a father, but it was almost like the father was not present. It might have been maybe because of work, or he just was not connected with the family and all that. And I know that most times we place a lot of emphasis on mothers, and trust me, mothers are great. It's not easy to be a mother, right? We know the sacrifice and everything that mothers go through, but I know that it is very important. The role of a father or a mother is not one that anybody should juggle and try to do. One person wants to do both, right? There's a role, there's a reason why God designed fathers, and there's a reason why God said that, everybody, I mean, there's nobody that has been born to this world that doesn't have a father. Whether you know your father or you don't, there was a father that, partook in the koinonia, if you know what I mean, right? So, and I know that there's a role, a very important role that fathers have to play in the lives of children. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And how important is this role? If there's no father, if the role is vacant, if the father doesn't do his responsibility, is it going to affect the child? Is anything going to happen? These are the things that we're going to be talking about today, and I'm so honored, so blessed, so excited about our guest, who is a parenting coach. He's been doing a lot of, I took my time to, go through his page, go through YouTube, listen to some of the things that he has shared about, just to even get an insight of who we're going to be listening in today. And to be nice that you follow him. He does a lot of things with parents, right? And he's going to be here to talk to us about fatherhood, the impact of an absent father. He'll share his story, his journey with us, and from there we'll progress in the conversation. So thank you to everyone who is just joining. I see you, and Tony, welcome. Charles, welcome. Ike, welcome everybody. So I'm going to very quickly read the profile of my guest, and then I will bring him in. All right. So Mr. Akinropo Akinola is a passionate catalyst for change who has the mandate to increase the quality of parenting and the methodology of nurturing African children as well as families into greatness while maximizing their full potentials. He's an accounting graduate from the Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Ogun State, Nigeria. He's a member of Nigerian Institute of Management, NIM Chartered. He's a fellow in the Institute of Management Consulting, FIMC. He had a short stretch in Mobile, producing Unlimited Nigeria from March 1991 to April 2001, and Reliance Bank Limited from August 2001 to April 29, 2005, and later started a private business major in financial brokerage. He had been involved in youth counseling in his local church before he was called fully into the parenting and education ministry in 2011, which he pursues with vigor and passion till date. Akinropo Akinola has practicing certificates in public speaking, business consulting, childcare, parenting and family advocacy, and educational consulting. He's a Generation Z facilitator certified from Growing Leaders, Atlanta, USA, social and emotional learning facilitator certified from Growing Leaders, Atlanta, USA, emotional intelligence certified from Emotion City, Lagos, Nigeria. He is a certified family life practitioner from Institute of Family Development, Lagos, Nigeria. His track record on advocacy on parenting can be traced across sectors, following the need to consolidate diverse projects, efforts, and interventions within the parenting space. He's a consultant, a speaker, a trainer, a parent coach, and also an experienced counselor. He's the author of the fast-growing, inspired 3 work tools for fathers and mothers. These are Daddy, Where Are You?, published in 2018, Mommy, No Excuses, published in 2019, and Pathway to Fatherhood, published in 2023. He's the founder or lead researcher, Parent Mark Consulting, and this is the guest that we have today. From now, we're going to be talking about this topic, impact of an absent father, and his 3 books. It's so exciting that he has a book on Daddy, Where Are You?, Mommy, No Excuses, and Pathway to Fatherhood. Okay, our guest is here. Yay! Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma.
Awesome. Welcome, sir. It's so good to have you here. Thank you for being here. Awesome. Right. Should I give you a second on so you can adjust your camera, though I think it's better now.
I think it's okay now.
Yes,
Is it okay
it's
now?
okay now. Yes, I think it's better now. Yeah, we're
Okay,
good now.
okay,
Great.
okay, yeah.
So welcome, sir. Welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. That you're going to be talking to us about this very important topic. I know that this is your niche. This is your strength. This is what you preach about. This is what you talk about. So we're glad that you honor this invitation, and we look forward to a very insightful, very amazing, blessed session with you. Thank you again. And welcome to Ife Talks. We're glad to have you here. For everybody who is just joining, welcome. Welcome. This is another beautiful episode of Ife Talks, and we're going to be talking about fatherhood, the impact of an absent father. So if you are a man here, you're in the right place. If you're a woman here, you're in the right place. Because if you know any man that needs to be here, just drag them. Send this link to them. Bring them here. Everybody needs to be a part of this session. It's not just for the men, and it's for also the women that love the men in their lives. All right. So so once again, welcome, sir. Okay, so my first question for you, we're jumping into it immediately. So I can see, I mean, we've read your profile and we know what your has been your major parenting and all that. Why did you choose, or how did you get into the path of being a parenting coach? What led to that? So we're starting soft and light.
Okay, thank you, Madam Ife. First off, I want to thank God for the opportunity for me to be on your show, Exalted Show today. So this is a rare privilege, and I'm not taking that for granted. So thank you, Ma.
Thank you, sir.
Secondly, please permit me to acknowledge the presence of my president.
You can go ahead, please. Go ahead.
So my president, Jide Ogunleye, well done, sir. Thank you for creating time to watch us. And out of your busy schedule, you are here today. Okay, so if you ask me, how did I come into this journey, the space of parenting? Okay, all through my period, when I was in school, then when I started to work, something will always be natural to you. You always want to advise, to encourage, to counsel, the younger ones around you. You always want to do that. So I didn't feel it's something serious to do. I just felt that, it's just natural to me, not too much seriousness around it, right? But in 2007, that was when I began the journey of living intentionally. That was when I started to look at myself. What is it that I am doing? Is this how I want to continue the journey of my life? Just to live your life anyhow, you rock around, you do all those stuff. Is this what life or what being a married man, being a father is all about? And I've heard, many preachers, teachers, coaches, mentors. I've heard them talk, preach about you need to connect, regardless of what you're doing now, that you need to connect with your purpose. What is that purpose? What is that area? Where is that space that God has called you into? Then, I read my Bible. You always say, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, that before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you, I consecrated you, and appointed you as a prophet unto nations, right? So I began to look at that, together with messages, from the pulpit, and that you need to connect with your purpose. So the thing really didn't make sense, connecting with purpose then to me was like, you need to be doing something. You can't just be in this world and not do something. But 2009, I think either I heard Pastor, then I wasn't a member of this, either I heard Pastor Sam say it or I read it in one of his books, that it does not matter what you are doing now. Because he now cited his own example, that he could have still been a successful engineer if he hadn't gone into the ministry. If he hasn't answered the call of God, to start the church ministry. He said, but he cannot compare the relevance, of the people who are being blessed by him being in the space of church ministry as if, as against if he was still an engineer. He said he will probably be impacting maybe about 30 or 40. He said maximum 100 people if he was still an engineer, right? But now compared to the ministry, what he's doing now, that he has thousands, millions of people that he is imparting throughout the world. So you need to connect with that. So, and I began to pray. I began to pray that, Lord, I really want to know. I knew I was made to speak. I was made to lead. I was made, to connect with people, both in print and electronic media. I knew I was made for that, but I didn't know which area is it for me. So I began to pray, fast, doing all sorts. So sometimes 2011, and I slept, and the Lord revealed to me parenting. It was written boldly, parenting, parenting, parenting. And I woke up, I said, whoa, what is happening here? So I slept back again, right? Just like Joseph. That dream, and also Pastor Nike Adeyemi, uh, teaching me was like a Bible, was like a house fellowship. Were just teaching me, putting me through some parents in the Bible, fathers in the Bible. It started with, I think, Abraham, how Abraham nurtured his children, all those stuff, she was just teaching me. That was the second dream, the same night. So then when I woke up, and I just tapped my wife, I said, yes, God has spoken, and I know my purpose now. So I woke up, I jumped, and I hit the road, and I began to buy books. I went parenting, fatherhood, and then I registered myself, into mentorship and coaching. I signed in for coaching activities, with mentors, with coaches. I just needed to learn, and I needed to be heard. Then in 2014, yes, there about 2014, no, 2015, we started monthly engagement at Excellence Hotel. Then we were doing it every month, free for parents and fathers to come. And we did that consecutively every month. We did it for 3 years, right? Before we now, we've offered enough free. Let us, move from physical meeting, free meeting. Now let us concentrate on people who are ready, to do the job, who are ready, to be intentional about parenting. So that's how the journey started. So it was even when I started this, that was when I now realized that how a lot of things that I've missed, as a child, as a teenager, a lot of things that my own dad did not really provide for me, right? I was born into a polygamous family. When I mean polygamous, I mean polygamous. So I don't want to tell you how many wives my dad had, right? But I'm talking about stark polygamous family. That was where I came from. So I realized how shortchanged, I had experienced, in fatherhood. I realized a lot of things that I did not, I wasn't given. And I decided that, no, this is not going to happen. I'm going to make sure that I gave all the necessary attention to my children, not my children alone, my immediate environment, and by and large, where as long as my voice can go, I'm going to make this positive impact that no child must be left unfathered. No child must be left unparented. No child must be left alone. And this is the reason, right? And I will stop there to take maybe another question. So I've seen many people talk about they're going to give their children the best of education, the best of attention, and they don't even mind what is going to happen around their environment, right? And I want to quote this woman's word, Hillary Clinton. Can you hear me, please?
100% can hear you.
Okay. So Hillary Clinton said that it is not how good my own child, she had only one child. She said it is not how good that their own child is raised, but how best other children outside are
Very true.
raised. Then immediately I knew this woman was talking about that no child, no family, no single family, no single person is immune from the larger influence of from the influence of the larger
Very
society.
true.
So it is possible I raise my children very well, but how about the environment? How about the place they are going? Our children are going to mix. They're going to mingle with other children around the world. And even let me say this: you don't even know your children may even they're going to marry from another area, another community, another establishment, different from where you raise them. So what is going to be the outcome, right, of those children, of those families they are going to marry into?
Wow.
If we are not so much intentional about our, if I'm sorry, I needed to cut
Okay.
about this. So if we are not so intentional about this in impacting the life of others, so that was why I decided that, what we're going to be doing now is we're taking it away, from a community gathering in Excellence Hotel. We take it online, Facebook, Instagram, then X, now X. So we took it there, then we took it to YouTube. We started sending, the messages across. Let everybody begin to hear, to know this about intentional parenting and intentional fatherhood. Because how did I now migrate? I've not even migrated, but why did I combine into fatherhood now? Because then when we started, we're going to schools, PTA meeting everywhere we were. Even when we started to gather people in Excellence Hotel, we discovered that 90% the people, 90% of the attendance is strictly women.
We're going to get
only a few men, fathers will always show up. Go to schools, the same thing. That was why I said, hey, this is what is going to happen, right? Because men have not been properly raised in that light to show or to let them know they can be good nurturers, just the same way as women are nurturers. So that's exactly what happened. We now said, now let us begin to penetrate the men folks. Let us begin to talk to fathers that their relevance in the home does not start and end with financial provision alone. There are some areas that when the children don't see fathers do, they will not connect. When they don't see fathers do things, they will not connect. Their mothers, could be doing almost everything, right? They're watching, right? But they need to see it has always been like that, right from time immemorial. When fathers are not taking responsibility of some things at home, the children will not connect. So that is how the journey has been so far.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for that introduction. So let's just jump right into it. Fatherhood. So what is fatherhood? What does it mean to be a father? Who is a father?
Okay, so I'm going to answer that first, in a conventional way. Then the second aspect is the expanded, format of who a father is. So when they say who a father is strictly, a male parent in the family, right? By extension, a father, can be, we do have a foster father, right? We do have them in many categories like that. There are other areas whereby, fatherhood can actually be attributed to a particular personality, right? But strictly, a father is a male parent in the family. Right? So now, let us now go to an expanded format. A father is someone who impacts the life of a child. A father is someone who models a behavior in the life of a child. A father is someone who a child sees and a child follow. So why am I saying this? I am saying that every male person, every male adult is a father. Every male adult is a father. So a driver that you see on the road is a father. A musician is a father, regardless of the genres the musician is playing. Is a father. A Fuji musician is a father. Juju musician is a father. A hip hop musician is a father, right? A danfo driver is a father. A conductor is a father. Any male child that that is available, that is so close to every child, is a father. Now, let me now break it down further. Why did I say this? I said this because every one of us, we are products of our early emotional life. Let me say that again. Every one of us is a product of our early emotional life, right? So while I was young, when you were young, you did not pick, your dad alone was not your role model. My dad alone was not my role model. You have uncles, we have uncles, especially many of us who are from Africa, right? We are communal in nature. It's a community that raises children in Africa. So when a child is born into a family, that child does not, the responsibility of that child does not lie in the hands of the parent, immediate parent alone. You will see uncles, they will always, anytime anything wants to happen to the child or the child does something wrong, you see one uncle that will always rush there to chastise the child, or one aunt, one cousins, one uncle somewhere, one sibling somewhere, right?
Yeah.
We have these people around us. Then as a child, right, we pick we pick many behaviors around them. We pick many behaviors around them, both bad, good, and the ugly. We pick all these around them, right? And that is why I came up with this phrase back in the day, that children are the best recorders, but the worst interpreters. Children are the best recorders, but the worst interpreters, right? So everything that they've given unto us, right, we naturally soak them in. We naturally soak them in. And all these form parts of the script that you and I are exhibiting now. The only difference there is the fact that you and I, we have subjected ourselves to proper scrutiny. We have begun the journey to begin to sieve our life. This behavior that I'm exhibiting, is it going to be part of my journey like I did in 2000, like I started to do from 2008, 2009, 2010 until 2011, that I started to live intentionally, right? I subjected myself to critical reasoning, that this behavior, this thing that I'm doing, is this one I want my children to live, to grow up to see their dad do? No. Then I began to think deep. Who is that person? Who were the main actors when I was young? So that is why I said all those people, they are all fathers. Every male adult around the children is a father, because all their behavior, all their role modeling, their activities, their experiences, their perspectives, their biases, every one of them, they form part of our script. And let me tell you, all those their behaviors and everything, they are more emotionally connected to us than we are consciously connected.
Yeah.
Let me take that again. Every of their behavior, of their activities, their biases, experiences, the traditions, the culture, the values, we are more emotionally connected to them than we are consciously connected. So that is one of the reasons why we won't even know how we are exhibiting all those traits. We won't even know. We would have exhibited some traits. Then you begin to wonder, wow, is it me that just did this? How did it come? How did it come into being? Right? Let me cite one example, and I will stop to take on the next question. When my son was, I think maybe age 3 or age 4, so we went somewhere and we came in. This boy was pressed. Was he even up to 4? I think it was age 3 then. This guy was pressed, right? Every one of us was pressed, and I quickly went inside. Immediately I parked the car. Every one of us came down. My wife, then our 2 children, our son and our girl, they came out of the car. We all came out of the car, and I entered the house to go and pee. Guess what? I met my son outside, peeing outside. Who taught him that you don't come inside? Meanwhile, I came inside. So it is possible he has seen me. It is possible he has seen me do that before. I don't know. But I began to wonder. I was so sure that I have never in my life, right, peed outside before this guy. I have never. So who taught him how to do that? And I called these boys. I said, "Why? What are you doing?" But we both went out together, and I came in. I was pressed also. Why did you have to do that? Why couldn't you enter? He just said, "I don't know." That was his response. He said, "I don't know." So you can see, my son then was a product of his earliest emotional life. There is no way he must have seen someone do it. And it is possible he has seen me do it also. But I didn't know. So let me stop there for now.
Wow. Thank you so much. And very, very spot on. Very, very spot on. Children really are recorders, but worst interpreters. Very true. So, I mean, I know you started to talk a bit about your upbringing, because I'm going to take us back there. I'm going to take you back there. I just want you to tell a little bit about, your earliest years, your growing up, because we're going to be talking about fatherhood, right? And the impact of an absent father, right? So I would like to know a bit of your journey, just a summary of it, how growing up was like for you, how you were with your parents and all that, father and all that, before we proceed. So let's hear your story.
Okay, I am sure you don't want to hear my story.
We want
I am
to hear.
Sure you don't want to. Okay, so I have, how do I summarize it now? Okay, let me just put it this way. I already shared it that I came out from a stark polygamous family, right? And I've said it again. I don't want to tell you how many wives my dad had. But if I have to summarize everything, I think I was a product of an absentee father. So let's just leave it there. So when someone says, is a product of an absentee father, you know what that means. A lot of things. That child will have missed a lot of things. Emotional connection, social connection, physical connection, a lot of things. That child has missed. So being a product of an absentee father, my dad was available. He was there, but he was an absentee father, a position which he regretted, in his later part of his life. And he warned us, we had issues, we were drifted apart for almost 20 years. We never saw eye to eye. But 2 years before my my marriage, my wife needed to meet my dad. Well, I said, okay, no problem, let's go. Then that was how we settled. But unfortunately, I thought we were going to discuss more. But unfortunately, a year after my wedding, he died. And when he died, I cried more than any other person in our house. So when people in the area began to see the way I was wailing, crying, they didn't expect me to wail as much because after all, there was no love, no lost love, love lost, between you and this man. Why? But they didn't know because the last day, excuse me, the last days of my dad on earth, there are many things he sat me. Then he began to voice out, to open up his mistakes to me and ensure that none of his children, go through or the route that he did. So a few of these was in my book, my latest book, Pathway to Fatherhood. A lot of things that my dad shared with me. So that's why I said, I don't want to go more into it, but
Yes.
I was a product of an absentee father.
Awesome. Wow. 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 I mean, even with what you shared, we already, kind of have a bit of a picture. So I'm just going to very quickly move on to the role of fathers. I know that we hear a lot about mothers, like I said during the introduction, how a mother is so important. The mother is a nurturer. A mother is this. If a child does well, it's the father. If a child does not do well, it's the mother. Everything is always mother, mother, mother. But I know that fathers have a very important, critical, crucial roles in raising wholesome children. So I just want you to very briefly give us some few roles that are very important, that fathers must, display or must do in the lives of their children. Roles that should not be delegated, that this is the role of a father in the life of his or her children. His children.
Okay. So thank you concerning that question. Let me answer it this way. First off, I'm going to answer this. There's no way I would answer this correctly or rightly without talking about some mistakes, that we grew up with. I did mention the other time that many of my generation of fathers believe that our relevance in the home starts and ends with our being financially available for our children and for our wives, and that has never been. I mean, that is not correct, right? That is not correct because when we were growing up, they made us understand that you are supposed to be a man, and a man, a woman is a nurturer. And it's the same way they told us that women as men are supposed to be in the kitchen, why men are not so, why men are supposed to be in the parlor, maybe cleaning or doing stuff. All right. So we lived with that, and we believe our relevance was only limited to being financially buoyant alone. And I still see many fathers that they live their life, just to make money for the family. I doff my heart for every father who is doing this. I don't have anything against that. Of course, now money is the in thing. We need to provide for the home. We need to be financially strong, right? If we really want to be relevant, let me put it that way, because the way they made us understand. But when we're talking about important role, there are many roles, even though I still believe that I find it difficult to pin one particular role or 10 roles. Let me, 10 roles of a father in the home, 5 roles of a father in the home. We have done some extensive work in that area, and we believe that it is not always so. It is not relevant to say 10 roles of a father, 5 roles of a father. Fathers' roles are evolving.
Okay.
Fathers' roles are evolving. Gone were the days when fathers were only main provider, when women are nurturers.
Yeah.
We have women now who are providers, and we have fathers now who are nurturers, right? So I'm not going to be specific about a particular role, but there is only one role that can never be negotiated. That role is sacrosanct. That role is role modeling. No one does the job of role modeling better than the father.
Wow. Wow.
No one does better than the father. And I have one example for that. I'm still going back to my boy also. When this boy was around 5 years, yes, 5 years, when we were ready for church and my wife woke them, our daughter will have woken up. My boy will always wake up last. Why? Because he has not heard my footstep. He has not heard my voice that daddy has already woken up. He has not, uh, he didn't have this perception that dad has already taken his bath. And then this is what happened. Then the church that we attended then, right? I was a minister. And sometimes I will have to minister on that Sunday morning. So this is what happened. I will stay late. Maybe stay for like 3, 4, 5 hours to prepare my manual and to pray and to do some other things. So I will probably wake up around, maybe when it is like 15 minutes for us to enter the car. But if this guy did not hear my voice, my boy will be asking my wife, that mommy, no, daddy has not taken his bath. I'm not bathing yet. Until daddy takes his bath, I'm not going to bathe. Until daddy dresses up, I'm not going to dress. Until daddy enters the car, I'm not going to enter the car. Until daddy does this, I'm not going to do it. Until I see daddy mopping the floor, I am not going to mop the floor. Until I see daddy cook in the kitchen, I am not going to cook. Until I see daddy do washing, I'm not going to wash anything. Until daddy does this, does that. My son said he will not do. Wow. Do you understand? Now, but my wife will always say, but your sister is doing this. Why doesn't your sister complain? And my son will say, well, that's for my sister. As far as I'm concerned, if my dad does not do this, I'm not going to do it. So you can see the job of role modeling is sacrosanct. So if other roles are evolving, right? Role modeling remains role modeling. So when we talk about other roles that are evolving, we're talking about, bathing a child. We are talking about, how to change diapers. We are talking about a lot of things. So I was on a session yesterday and I spoke about this. And my question is, when people are saying this is the job of a mother in the home and this is the job of a father in the home, for instance, a woman just gave birth and there is a small complication as a result of that. She doesn't have the capacity to bathe the baby. She doesn't have the capacity, the strength to feed the baby. She doesn't have the capacity to change the diapers. She doesn't have the capacity to clean that, to do some other things. And meanwhile, you live in an environment whereby the mother-in-law are not available, whereby aunties are not available, whereby cousins are not available. So who is going to do the job the wife that was just put to bed supposed to do? Who is going to do it? So if we share the roles, who is going to do it? Who's there? Nobody. So the person to do that is still the man, is still the father, is still the husband. So that is why I believe that we should begin to raise today's children, boys and girls, in that consciousness that every role in a family is the role of everybody. Every role in the family is the role of everybody. If a couple decides to share their roles, that this is what you are going to be doing as my wife, this is what you're going to be doing as my husband, I don't have any problem with that. It is allowed. I'm not going to decide how every family is going to run their home. My own job is to make sure that regardless of the roles every one of them has taken, they must be sure that the best interest of the child is always at the center of their decision making. So concerning that, the one role that I believe father must not reject, that remains sacrosanct, is the role modeling. Role modeling, no one would do it better than the father.
Wow, I love that. That's so spot on. That is so spot on. Role modeling, because you are correct. Honestly, everybody can do everything. Then we should not streamline it, and depend on how the family is going to run. But role modeling is so important. And you just see that children, one way or the other, they always tilt to wanting to do what their fathers do. They want to just, oh, dad did not do this. And the example you gave is, I can relate to that example. And that's why fathers must be very careful and intentional about what they are doing. And you said something earlier that children are very great observers, but they're just bad interpreters. So it's so important, role modeling. Now, from your experience, do you think that fathers are, I mean, with what you have seen, how well do you think that fathers are feeling of doing this role model role in quotes? Like, what are the gaps that you have observed? What are the things that you have noticed in terms of fathers trying to become great role models for their children?
Okay, thank you, Ma. So the gap that I've seen so far, over the years that we started to do this job, I'm sorry to say this, the gap is the problem of ignorance. The gap is the problem of ignorance. Not many fathers, have decided, to take a stock of their life, to take a stock of their journey. Where are they coming from? Where are they going? Or rather, where are they coming from? Who are they presently? Then who are they becoming? So not until every father begins to, or every father knows how to answer that question, right? The job of role modeling, the job of intentional fatherhood is going to be difficult. So let me say that again, right? The first one is, where am I coming from? Who am I now? Then who am I becoming? So in you answering those three questions, then that would define what you are going to be doing next. Excuse me. That will define what you are going to be doing next to point you to who you are becoming. What have you scripted for your life? What is the legacy? What is the legacy you want to leave behind? I am big on ancestry. I am very, very big on ancestry. I am big. I want my name, to remain, forever till the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. I want to leave a lasting legacy, a lasting name, that when 10 generations after me, when they begin to hear, then they say that, oh, they are proud of their father. Just like the way the children of Israel will always proud of their forefathers. So when you look at the Bible, you look at Psalm 44, you see these guys, they are so proud. They went to God, they were praying to God. They said unto God, they said that the way our forefathers have told us how you delivered them in the day of trouble. We knew that you rescued them not by their own sword, but by your own eyes of countenance, because you have favored them. How did they know? They read the history somewhere that God favored their father. So this is a kind of legacy I want every father to leave behind for their children. But how will they be able to do that if they've not really taken a quick stock of their life, where they are coming from, who they are presently, then who are they becoming? So when every father begins to answer that, then the problem of ignorance has been demystified. The problem of ignorance has been reduced to minimal level, in fact, obliterated.
Right.
The knowledge has taken over the problem of ignorance before them. So when every father begins to do that, then we can be so sure that the gap that we have seen so far in role modeling had been extinguished, right? Because every father believes that they know how to do it. We do respect to every father listening to this, watching this, and they're still going to watch this. Fatherhood and parenting are not natural. Let me say that again. Fatherhood and parenting are not natural. Let me go down memory lane in the Bible. Out of the 7 mountains, God commanded Moses to take over. Parenting and family is one of the mountains. How come? Parenting and family, that is one of the mountains, is what people take naturally. It's only the mountain that people think they don't need to go to school. They don't need knowledge to do it better. Education is one of the mountains. Before you could teach, you need certification. You need to go to school. Business and economy is one of the mountains. Finance is one of the mountains, right?
Yeah.
Media and entertainment is one of the mountains.
Yeah.
Regardless of the money I have, I can't go fully into media and entertainment that I want to play there. One of the two things I will do is either to employ somebody, to partner somebody who is a major player in that place, or I go to learn. I go to school of media. Which area do I want to take over? Which area? I will have to go to school. Religion is one of the mountains. Regardless, even if I was born, if my father was a pastor or is a pastor of a church, a bishop of a church, my father can't say he's going to hand over the authority of the church to me based on the fact that I am his son. He has to give it to me on merit.
Yeah.
If I have not gone through all those schools, he will not.
That's true.
Right? You and I know in Daystar today, you can't be a worker, you can't be a minister if you've not gone through the 4 hierarchy of training. 100, 200, 300, 400, right? So that is exactly what we are telling every father, every parent. Parenting and fatherhood are not natural. So when you know they are not natural, then you are ready to subject yourself to proper scrutiny. You are ready to take up the journey to define where you are coming from. In defining where you are coming from, you are asking yourself, who are your fathers? Who were the major players where you grew up, right? Who were your uncles? What were the predominant behaviors of your uncles? What was the predominant behavior of your father? What were the predominant behaviors of people around you where you grew up? Because one way or the other, those guys, their activities have infiltrated into your life and you have emotionally connected to them.
Right.
So now, when you're taking the stock of that, then the next thing for you to do, who are you presently? Who are you presently? What are those things that you are doing presently, right? Then who are you becoming? You need to know who you are becoming. So in answering who you are becoming, you have to do something that thing is, you begin to jettison, you begin to detox yourself of those childhood trauma that you lived with. And that is what will now point you to where you are going, to who you are becoming. So when that questions are answered, and I believe the job of role modeling is very, very possible.
Wow, fantastic. Wow, I love those questions that you just asked. But something that you said, right, and that's even one of the questions I wrote down is, you see that most of the time, and I don't know why is it that when we have all these conferences, even if it's family life conferences, parenting, why is it that it's so difficult? And you even said it that 90% of the people there are always the women, right? Why is it that men are, should I say, they are averse to these things? They don't like to show up for these things. Is it that men think that there's nothing anybody can teach me? Is it an ego issue? Is it why do we find more women who are always passionate and ready to be in conference like this, even go for mentorship, pay for mentorship? It's always more of the women. Men hardly do these things. Why is that gap?
The gap, we face it also. We face it. It's not, it will interest you, madam, that even sometimes when you organize fatherhood training online, you see women attending that. So it's a cultural thing. It is a cultural thing. I have attended emotional intelligence training. It is always the ratio 8:2.
Wow.
Or ratio 10:2, or ratio 50 80-2,
Wow.
right? The ratio is always almost 80%. I have attended family life practitioner, the same thing, right? So when the cultural problem is solved, then we will be good. And the cultural problem is still, that thing is still living inside us. That the only thing men and fathers are concerned about is where they're discussing money.
Wow.
Anywhere they're not discussing money, I am not interested. Oh yeah, madam, you can go there. Let me go and look for money. But I want to beg every father that is watching, that will still watch this. I want to beg you. In so much we look for money, I look for money also. I'm not going to tell you to stop looking for money and focus on the children alone. Please, as much as you look for money, look after your family. I am begging you.
Awesome.
I just want to beg them. But it's a cultural thing. It's something we live with. It's something that they told us that the only thing that will make us to be relevant, the only thing that will make our wives to obey, to love us, to accept us, to make us relevant before them, is when we have money. And every father wants to have money so that they will be relevant at home. But as much as we run after this money, we look after our business, I want to beg you, from the bottom of my heart, please create time and look after the children and your wife.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, because I really think that it's cultural, and I know that everybody, even experts, every professional, everyone's trying to break that myth, break into that space of having men come. I mean, I go for programs, you always see the women there, always, but the men are still praying for them. It is well. So now let's quickly, you've talked about,
but guess what? Let me say this. We were talking about the roles are evolving. Even men are not observant enough. Even the area of finance, all those business training, financial trainings that were predominantly dominated by men before now. When you go for some trainings now, you see women, they are coming up. So men, they need to go into the area where women were dominating before.
Very amazing, very amazing. And I have a question here, but just before I take that question, I'll take this question and then we'll go into that, because that's a very good question. Now, when men don't be role models for their parents, because you said that one very important thing that men should never forget is to become a role model for your children. I beg your pardon. What is the impact? What impact does that have on children? Because sometimes fathers don't even know that what they're unconsciously doing is going to have a ripple effect on their offsprings. Now, when men don't step up to become the role models that they should be in different areas for their children, it definitely has an impact in that child. Now, what are some of the impacts that it will have on children?
I think I've mentioned this before in this session. The two of the impacts, which are, unfortunately negative, is social and emotional impact. Social and emotional impact is going to be, they're not going to be there for the children. The children at times may lose their self-confidence because they've not seen anyone, modeling that to them. And again, they've seen their mom doing everything alone. So when they see anyone with a father or doing something in the school, they feel somehow, that action feels strange to them because they've never seen something like that with their mother or with their dad, right? So social impact is going to be very huge. It's going to leave a huge gap when the fathers are absent. Then again, of course, emotional impact is they're going to lose. The emotional impact is also part of it. Why did I say that, right? So every one of us, we have our past experiences. We have toxic experiences that we lived with. But a child who does not have a father to share his experiences with him, to share how he encountered, challenges while he was growing up. Excuse me, while he was growing up, right? That child is going to miss being emotionally resilient to some issues and challenges that the child is going through. Take, for instance, I'm talking about myself now. A lot of things, challenges I have gone through in my life, even as a teenager, even as a child, many of them, then age appropriately, I made sure that I share them with my children. Why did I do that? So that when they too engage, or when they face any of these challenges or related challenge, when they face them, they know that their dad had gone through this before, and these are the strategies that the dad deployed. The dad told them this is what he deployed. Then me, and I'm facing this also, I think I should be able to deploy a related strategy to overcome this challenge. So social impact, which is about self-confidence, right? Then emotional impact, which is about being emotionally resilient in the face of challenges and adversaries. Those tools are going to be lacking in the area of absentee father. When fathers are not available, the social impact will be lacking, and emotional impact will be lacking. Those two are very, very germane that every child must be able to develop and grow with.
I think that it will be a continuous cycle until men begin to take up their roles. It now becomes to every child.
Yes, vicious cycle.
Exactly. Also, let me take a question here. What advice will you give to mothers that have taken up both the fatherly and motherly role due to an absent father?
Okay, the advice I would give I guess this, okay, don't let me mention the name of the person. Let me just go ahead. The advice I would give this person is in two ways. The first one is, I want to encourage you. I empathize with this, with this woman, right? Because of the absentee father, she has taken the role of a father and a mother. So I pray that the Lord continue to give you strength, to shoulder on, right? So keep doing what you are doing. Be good at it, right? But when you think you are emotionally, that activity is draining you, that role is draining you, please reach out to people. If you are still good at it, keep doing it. But if you know that activity is emotionally draining you, please reach out to people. Then the second question, the second answer, or the second response I want to give is this: diligently search for a father figure. Diligently search for a father figure for the children, because it is possible that your children believe that you are doing your best, but they are not feeling the effect of a father, and they need to feel the effect of a father. So it is not always possible for you to just show down when you understand that your children are missing that fatherhood part. So once you notice that, please diligently, please mark the word diligently, right? Search for a father figure for the children.
That's a very good one, because I know that a lot of, whether we like it or not, a lot of women are taking up or have taken up the role of being both a father and a mother. And like you said, it can be very draining because it's not easy. So the natural design is not for one person to do both effectively. So yes, if you think you need help, and we always need help, it's good to ask for help before you break down, because nobody can do that journey forever alone. Right. So now I want to ask, in raising children, and I know that you've touched a bit on this, right? Because you said when you were talking earlier that separating the role of a father and then the role of a mother is not something that you want to do. But one thing is sure is that fathers must be role models for their children. But now I want to talk about raising children, and this will help us in intentional parenting. Is there a difference with how a boy child should be raised and how a girl child should be raised? Should there be, or should you raise your children up the same way, same discipline, same principles, same virtues, or there's at some point a bit of difference? It's just good for us to know, because I know that some people here have maybe a boy and a girl, some people have two boys, two girls, and all that. Is it possible to effectively raise both of them the same way, or at some point there's some sort of difference in the way they are raised?
Okay, so this question, keeps coming up, especially when we have this International Day of the Boy Child or International Day of the Girl Child. They always ask this question, that how do we raise them? Before that, I'm going to be open here, I'm going to be vulnerable here. Before, I was an advocate, right, that a boy should be raised in a particular way, why a girl should be raised in a particular way. But what we have seen so far, that this issue of International Day, with due respect to the international days, I'm not really an advocate of it, because people are now taking it to be a gender thing. I am a boy, I'm a girl, girl child awareness. I am this, I'm that. I don't have any problem with that. And each time I go to this, to have session in this area, my point that I always say is, let every parent collectively raise humanity in the life of our children. Let us raise humanity in a boy child. Let us raise humanity in a girl child. Humanity will solve the problem of abuse. Humanity will solve the problem of self-centeredness. Humanity will solve the problem of all manners of problems, evils. Humanity will solve that problem. So when we want to, I don't have any problem with people who are specialized about the boy child or about the girl child. I don't have any problem. I have many of them as my colleagues, and we share notes together. But in a session like this, I want to say, I don't think that it's a particular way to raise a boy child or a particular way to raise a girl child. The only thing I want to advocate for is humanity. Let us raise humanity in every child. And I have a reason for saying this, right? It is not being a boy child that I'm going to, okay, for instance, it's not because that I am a man or a father that I want to oppress my wife or I want to oppress my children. It is because I have the spirit of oppression in me. It is because I have lived with oppression before. It is because I have lived with bullying before. That is only thing that will make me to want to bully my wife if I have the opportunity. That is what is going to make me to have, to want to oppress, and abuse my children or abuse anyone around me when I have the opportunity. It's not because I am a man. It's not. It's because I have lived with those things before. Maybe through the people who raised me. The same way you see a woman, you see a wife beating the husband. It's not because that the husband can't beat, but because that woman has lived with that attitude over time. So the gender does not make us to be who we are. Rather, we are who we are because we lived with all those traits when we are growing up. So that is why I believe that raising humanity in every child, whether boy child or girl child, should be our goal. If that is our goal, every boy child will behave well and every girl child will behave well.
Oh, fantastic. I love it. I love it. So just focus on the inner part, the humanity. So like you said, anybody can sweep, anybody can cook, anybody, and thankfully a lot of male chefs now. It's not just a woman thing again. It's that men are fitting well, and I think people are more intentional about how they are raising their children. Not, oh, you're a boy, don't wash the plates. Oh, you're a girl, you can know. I think people are now very inclusive in how, they're raising their children to help to, forestall what we talked about, how only women go for conference. So hopefully, if people go in this pattern, raising humanity and ensuring that they are doing an inclusive way of raising their children, I think that's myth will finally be broken, where we have only women attending things that are family oriented. Okay, so now this one very important, and still part of what I said as we begin to round up in some guys, some male children are very emotional. Naturally, they'll say it's only girls that can cry, right? But you see that there are some boys, even from their young age, when they're already crying, they're just naturally very emotional. And the response you hear is, "Are you a girl? Why are you crying? Are you a girl? Come on, be a man." From that very young age, those things are being said to those boys and all that. But unfortunately, they are emotional boys, right? When we know that it's women that should be like that. So how do you manage such a situation? Are you a big girl? Why are you doing like this? Why are you trying to? And that's the effect that we see that plays in adults, when a lot of emotions were shut down. So how do you think is the best way to manage or handle the emotions of a boy child, right? An emotional boy child, and all.
Okay. Okay, so thank you. So now it is still a cultural thing. Back in the day, we grew up to see that anytime we wanted to cry, maybe it's something, hardened, and we really don't like the way the thing went out, or maybe when someone lied against you and you don't have the voice, to really exonerate yourself, you begin to cry. And even when you are crying, they say that because you are the one who did it, that's why you are crying. Or they say that, are you a girl? Why are you crying? So, that came out from the perception, that had been transferred to us back in the day, like 100 years back. That was when men were going to war. They came up with this, that men are logical, then women are emotional. So women are supposed to be in the house cooking, and they need all manner of emotional strength for them to do that, right? Why men, for you to win in the war front, you need to have logic, you need to be logical in doing that. So that cascaded, into, back at like 1960s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s. And the same thing, if care is not taken, is still happening in the life of our children today. So when we go to some places to speak, we take up some sessions.
Okay, is this me? Let me just know. Please, can you see me? Can you hear me? I just want to be sure where this freeze is coming from. Please let me know if you can see and hear me. Is it my network now? Let me know. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so our guest left. I guess that must have been a network issue, and I'm sure he'll be back. But let me know that you can still see me and you can still hear me. Right? Just be sure that we're still on track and we're still together. And this has been a very, very interesting session. But before I continue talking, let me wait for a feedback. Please, can you hear me? And can you see me? Welcome, Rocco. Please just let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you can see me. Let me know that I'm still here. My guest just dropped off. I'm believing that it's a network issue. But please just let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Anyone can just drop a feedback. We can hear you. We can see you, and all that. Please let me know. Let me just be sure. Please let me know. Please let me know. Please drop a comment. Oh, if we can hear you. Oh, if we can see you. If I don't see a comment, it means that you guys cannot hear me and you guys cannot see me. So let me know that you can hear me, please. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh, yes, You can. Thank you, Kunle. Thank you. Awesome. I just wanted to be sure. All right. So, to those who are just joining us, welcome. Right. We've been talking about something very, very important, and that's fatherhood, the impact of an absent father on a child. Right. The impact of an absent father on a child. And we've heard a lot. Our guest has, he even shared a bit of his story about the kind of home that he grew up from, and there was not a lot of connection, and he has tried to demystify some of these myths that we have carried to say that, oh, fathers are just supposed to provide financially for their children. And special shout out to those fathers who are very intentional and don't just limit their role to just financial provision. Shout out to people that are very intentional about their children, about connecting with them, about knowing them, about growing with them. Fathers that take their children to school, fathers that follow up on their academics, follow up on their character, their discipline, character formation. So shout out to that. So he has tried to let us know that there's nothing like, oh, it's the woman that changes diapers, it's the woman that sweeps the floor. It's a relationship. It's we're doing this together because we're trying to model something that our children can learn from. We're trying to ensure that our children see the right picture, so that the same mistakes that we grew up with, where our mothers are in the kitchen cooking and our fathers are in the parlor, they're watching football or reading the newspaper, they have no business with the kitchen, they have no business with food, they have no business, all they do is just to go out, come back, oh, welcome, are you ready to eat? Yes. You sit down, you eat, they pack your food, you go. Nothing much, right? We're trying to change that mindset because that's what most of us grew up seeing. I grew up seeing that too. Anyway, as amazing as my father was, as great as he was, very intentional about education, school, provision, and all that. But he didn't ever have any business in the kitchen. I don't even think I saw him inside the kitchen doing anything ever. All he does is once he goes out, comes back in, he wants his food. If his food is not ready, there's problem, serious problem. So he said, everybody jumping. That is bad. That is food. This as if no, he's a tyrant, and he was not, right? So, but that pretty much is how a lot of us grew up, and that's what we're trying to break with our children, so that this mistake does not continue. And we also talked about the fact that most of the time you see that when we go for conferences, when you go for seminars, when you go for programs, it's only mothers that are there, only women are there, only women are always going for programs, only women are always going for a marriage conference. Even if there's a program for the fruit of the womb, it's only the woman, as if it's only the woman that is looking for children, right? Everything is just women, women, women. Why is it that men don't attend these things? Why is it that men are not going for things like this? And it still brings us back to the same thing, that men, their priority or their focus is just, if it's not money, let the woman sort it out. But we're trying to change that narrative, because the boys that we are going to raise will be very, very inclusive children, boys that will, that will be role models for their own children. The wrong things, the wrong patterns that we grew up with will not continue with that. Yeah, so those are the kind of things that we have been talking about, and it has been a very engaging session. And yes, our guest is back. Welcome back, Sam.
Hello, Madam Ife.
Yeah, welcome back again.
Uh, um, I am sorry. I was so carried away that I wasn't charging my phone.
No problem. I'm sure, in fact, I totally understand. Totally understand. Welcome back. Good to have you. I was just trying to price for those who just joined, or maybe they joined halfway, some of the things that we have spoken about. All right, so you can go ahead now.
Okay, so I was talking about, you know, uh, from the cultural perspective that, men are logical, women are emotional, because then 100, 200 years ago, men are supposed to, they were always going to the war front, and they need to be logical for them to win the war. While women who are emotional need all manners of emotional strength for them to be able to coordinate the home front, right? So the same thing cascaded onto us, that they made us to understand that we need, to be emotionally strong, we need, you know, we are not meant to be crying, because men are supposed to be, you know, you are supposed to man up.
Yeah.
You are supposed to be great. You are supposed to be hard,
Yeah.
even in the face of, I mean, palpable challenges.
Yeah.
You are supposed to be hard. So now, when we go to places, we have sessions, we go to training, I always tell everyone who cares to listen, but I cannot see you.
You can't see me?
No, I can't.
Oh, wow. That's, please, can you guys see me? Let's be sure. Can anybody see me? Let me know if you can see me. Anyone, please just drop a comment so that I'm sure you can see me. Let me know. Can you see me? Please let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can see my guest. Yes, we can see you, Ife. Okay, they can see me also.
But can they see me?
Okay, well, I can see you. I can see you. Please let me
You
know.
can see me.
I guess.
I guess. So let me just go ahead. I guess everybody can see me then. So, we always tell them that the masculinity we are talking about is a combination of blood and muscle. I mean, sorry, it's a combination of muscle and emotions, right? It's a combination of muscles and emotions. So when you say that I am masculine, I am big, I have all this muscle, I tell men that please don't let us be deceived by these muscular things that we have around us. We have emotions. We have emotions. What that means is we have blood, we have waters running in our veins. We have all this running in our veins. So they respond to stimuli. The waters and blood in our body responds to stimuli. So if it is negative stimuli, then the water will come out of our eyes. We will cry.
Exactly.
If it is positive, then we're happy. We smile. We laugh. We gist with our friends. So to me, I think it is criminal for any man to suppress the response or the stimuli, I mean, to suspend the response to stimuli that the body gives per time.
Very true.
It is criminal.
Very true.
It is criminal. And I'm not raising my boy in that area.
Awesome.
There was a school where they attended before, and something happened when he was 6, and my boy started crying. The teacher was screaming, no, you can keep quiet now. Did I beat you? Did I beat you? Why are you crying now? What is this? I mean, you are so sport. When the boy came home, the boy told me that was 11 years ago that something happened in his school today, and he was crying. But he now told me that instead for the teacher, to ask him what happened, that the teacher started abusing him, that he was crying. I followed the boy and I told the teacher, I said, madam, please allow every boy in your class to cry when they feel so.
Yeah.
Don't allow them to begin to bottle things up at their age.
Yeah.
Everything we bottle up at early stage will convert, I mean, that's one of those things that, that make you to be hypertensive, even in adulthood. We never can say. So I just want to implore, I want to beg every man, every father out there. So please, when you feel like you need to respond to the negative stimuli that you are getting, either from inside or outward expression, I mean, rather, or from outward expression, rather, I mean, from people, please give to it fully. If you know you can't cry in the public, quickly excuse yourself, go to a closer area where you can emit.
Yeah. Very important.
You can emit those anger, where you can emit them out, the cry. Please, let us do it.
Very good.
The only thing that can happen is people begin to say that he's crying like a baby. Let them say, you are the one who knows what you are doing. You are the one who knows what is going on within you. I don't think it's something that we should continue to bottle up. I don't believe in any man to man it up. You are not manning anything up. You are not going to man anything up. If there is any challenge, voice out. Reach out to people. The people who you believe that can help you.
you.
reach out to them.
Wow, so good. I love that. I love that response. I know that we have kept you for such a long time, but this has been such a very, in fact, I even love where you just wrapped it up, because I know that this is a challenge that a lot of people face. Men are shy to cry. Men don't want to cry. Men don't want to express their emotions. Men want to always bottle up everything, and that's how boys are raised to men, and that's how they will keep raising their boys that will become men, and the cycle will always continue. But if people can practicalize a lot of things that you have shared here today, being role models, demystifying all this old boy girl thing, understand that we are raising humans, raising people with feelings, people with emotions, a lot of all these norms that we have grown with and we have lived with will change in a few years, in the nearest future. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being a part of this session. Thank you for giving your time. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for educating us. I mean, there's a lot of questions, but I know because of time we need to run, and I hope that if we need you to come back one day very soon, you will honor the invitation. But before we go, I would like you to talk to us about your books, where people can get it from, how people can reach you if they need to reach you for anything. Please, let's just quickly wrap with that.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Ife. Like I want to say again, when I see women, taking this space, talking about intentional parenting, about fatherhood and all sorts, right, around the children, I doff my heart for them, that you are not limiting your relevance even in the home alone. You are not raising your children alone. You want to raise other people's children also. So I want to thank you for doing this. And I also want to thank Mr. Ogunjobi for giving you the opportunity to do this. I want to thank him. God bless him, really good in Jesus' name. So you want to get my book? My book, Pathway to Fatherhood, is on Amazon. It's on Amazon. Just type in, you can just Google it, Pathway to Fatherhood by Akinrokpo Akinola on Amazon. It will come out there for you. If you want it in hard copy, you get it. Then you want it in your Kindle, you get that one also. Then Mommy No Excuses. That one, if you know how to get, you can reach out to me. That one is not on Amazon. Mommy No Excuses, not on Amazon. Then Daddy, Where Are You? Not on Amazon. We have those ones in physical on our shelf, physically. So if you want to get that, you can get hard copies of that one. Then again, I'm on Instagram at Parenting with Akinrokpo. Then I'm on Facebook as well, Akinrokpo Akinola. Then on X, formerly Twitter, I am at Akinrokpo Akinola. Then my YouTube also, Akinrokpo Akinola. I want to thank everybody who had created that time, sacrificed their data, sacrificed their time to be in this meeting. I want to thank you. You've been doing this every Sunday. Please keep doing it. Keep supporting Mrs. Ife Ogunjobi. We are all together in this assignment until we see the betterment of every family, the betterment in motherhood, betterment in child development, and of course, in fatherhood also. We will not stop. This is the assignment God has committed into our hand, and we continue to pursue to do it till we lay our sword at the feet of our Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you, Ms. Ogunjobi. Thank you
so much, sir. Thank you for being a part of the session. Thank you. I can release. We can release you now. I'll get in touch with you soon. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being a part of today's session. It was such an eye-opener. It was insightful. It was great. If you're not following our guest Parenting with Akinrokpo, please do that. Click on the follow button. He's always sharing great stuff that we need to learn as parents, for fathers, and all. If you're not following Ife Talks, if you're not following me, just click follow now. Just quickly click it. Right? And what's Ife Talks? What do we do? So every month we bring in experts. We bring in people that will talk to us about different topics. We talk about everything, as long as you add value to you, as long as it will impact you, as long as it will help you make a better and informed decision, we will do that, right? So we talk about relationship, about finance, about children, about life, about business, career, entrepreneurship, everything and everything. We've talked about abuse, people that have been raped, drug addiction. Like, there's nothing we don't talk about. If we will add value to your life, we will talk about it, and we will look for people that we can bring here to come and engage us in those conversations. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Osinachi. Thank you, everyone, for being a part. And you know that we'll be back here again next month. Another guest, another impactful topic that would change your life, change your mind. So thank you, guys. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for staying through. And follow Ifetox if you're not following Ifetox. Follow our guest if you're not following him. All right. And I'll see you again next month by God's grace. And by the way, I compare events excellently well. Like, you need to know. Maybe you don't know, but you need to know. And I do that. I mean, I like to talk. As long as it's valuable talk, you find me there, talking, handling, mastering ceremonies, just doing great stuff. This is my vision. And I mean, this is my passion. It's what I love to do. So thank you all for your support. I'll see you again next month by God's grace. Enjoy the rest of July. See you soon, and bye for now.